Hello, and welcome to Have At Us, reviews for your pleasure, where we share honest thoughts, opinions, feelings, often some hot takes. And I'm Nietzsche.
And I'm Joshua.
And this is episode 6 of the RWBY Report. We're talking about episode 8. You need to hear about any of the other episodes. They're all back there. You go find them. You listen to them all. We're going to be spoiling this show. Attempt to not spoil the rest of the RWBY property. But this is your warning. We invite you to have at us. We welcome it. We revel in it. The links to do that are nicely down in the description. Now, I know that you loved this episode, because I've got the feeling that you kind of are tired of the dream world and it dragging on. So I know that you really liked that we are still dragging on in the dream world.
This episode definitely made me think, wow, we really need to start wrapping this up. And I'm worried because I feel like the next episode is really gonna be bad.
Now, was this episode bad? Let's start there.
It was on the border.
It's on the border. It's looking over in the bad section.
Yeah.
But they weren't allowed admittance yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Okay. I don't know that I think it was bad. I share concern, though, about where we go from here. I think we've done some things that are a little like, okay, this could be fine. This could work out. But you're going to have to play your cards very correctly. Otherwise, I'm really concerned.
It feels like we got another 2 episodes in here at least. I don't really need that, to be completely honest. And part of my problem, I'm going to say it, the character RWBY herself. Starting to get a little bored with her.
You don't like RWBY anymore.
I just feel like she hasn't changed for 6 episodes. We haven't progressed with anything. I don't feel like she's actually making a lot of progress in any meaningful way with the whole dream stuff. Like, I feel like we just keep coming here, and then we're thwarted, and then we go out, and then we come back, and then we try again, and we fail. Now we're gonna try again, and then we're gonna try again. It starts to feel like we don't even know what we're trying to accomplish specifically, or how we're gonna do it. Feels like we have no game plan. We're just kind of meandering, trying to figure it out. And it's getting a little bored.
I don't know that I feel that. I think they had a plan going in, and it didn't quite go as nicely and neatly as they thought it would. As I figured it would, because we had to stay in the dream world most of the show, like I said we would. But I also think that RWBY has grown a little bit. She's kind of stepping up into her leadership role a little bit, doing a little bit more. She still, isn't changing like overnight, and that's fine, right? I don't have a problem with it at this point. I think this next episode from here could be bad. I don't want it to be bad, and I don't hope for it to be bad, but it might be.
It really feels like we're gonna play a game where we're in her dream, and we're gonna be doing stuff with that for like the entire episode, and then we'll every now and then cut back to Blake and Yang, and they'll be exploring this haunted house orphanage thing, and that'll be a couple scenes, but we won't resolve much there, and who knows what's going on with this other kid, John. I don't care.
He's your boy.
I'll be more excited when he time travels again. But right now, all he's doing is being confused about the sword. I'm confused about his stupid sword. I'm glad it's still in the train, I guess. That seems to be helping out as like a protection ward thing.
That's the implication.
Yeah, I don't really know how that works. I also don't really know what his ability is outside of just kind of sucking right now.
I told you Jean is a failure. And he 100% was a failure here. Like, you could argue maybe he's not a complete and utter failure, but I'm feeling like he's a complete and utter failure at all times.
I'm just not sure what purpose he's really here for, other than the sword. We had to have a way to have a cool sword thing.
He's there because he should be resistant to the nightmare, right?
Theoretically, but I mean...
But we haven't done anything with that, and the nightmare, thorns are close to him, and there's no reactions, and... Because apparently the hat and gloves, protect him, maybe. I don't understand. I don't know.
Well, they're from the future.
Yeah, Whose future?
John's future.
Oh, okay.
Where he becomes an inventor and creates really good barriers against thorns.
This is a life-altering event for him.
Yeah.
So we know he makes it out.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
Okay, good to know.
But yeah, otherwise, it just kind of felt like, okay, here's a big bad guy that we gotta distract, but not really fight, and now we're in the building, and now we failed. It's like, alright, I don't know, I kind of just want to get somewhere with this.
You know what I appreciate? That we remembered RWBY has a semblance, and she uses it. And I'm like, oh wow, Because I was really concerned that we were going to do some weird, long, drawn-out thing with it. And I'm like, okay, good job. You remembered she has a semblance. I don't really know why she doesn't use her semblance to just, like, go in there and wreck shop on this nightmare. But she at least uses it at the end to not get spirited away through the glyph portals.
I also feel like, if I look at the first episode of the show, where we're introduced to these characters in RWBY, like, she's fighting these guys and she's doing cool stuff. And at this point in the dream, I don't feel like I'm seeing any of her acrobatic skill in play. Kind of just feels like she's fumbling around. And it's the same with Yang. She's barely doing anything. Blake's doing a little bit more.
Yeah, but Yang has always just kind of not done a lot in this show.
Yeah, and I'm just like...
Blake tries. Blake does cool things.
But she fails.
I mean, you know, you can't be perfect all the time, okay?
Yeah, true.
But RWBY, I would go, the excuse here is, whether you like it or not, is that the weapon is not her normal weapon. And so she's struggling.
Yeah, but you can just use the scythe bit like normal, right? Does that really change?
The weight's gonna be all different, though, and like how well it works, and...
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know the logistics of that.
I'm just saying, that would make sense to me. I'm not bothered by it at this point. We'll see where it goes. We weren't gonna kill anybody. I thought we were killing some wise children, but they just blow up.
Yeah, they blow up into a smaller version.
They go back to the smaller version.
Yeah, I was a little like, okay. It's very weird. The whole making everybody big thing, very weird. Don't really understand why this is happening. It's just kind of a weird visual flair.
But didn't have cool music with it.
No.
Like, last episode had the cool music. And this episode, like, it was fine. It was serviceable. Like, the audio department wasn't bad, but it didn't stand out. It didn't enhance these things for me.
Yeah, this just felt like an episode that was just dragging things out a little bit, and then it ends in a way where I'm like, oh great, let's drag it out even more. So it's not my favorite episode. It wasn't awful, but I don't feel like we've progressed anything, really.
We set things up for what I assume will be kind of the final pieces in play.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I'd like to point out I was right about there being another chess piece in the control room, but it's gone now, too.
Yep, shattered. So that's fun. Now, there was a couple important things that I got out of this.
Okay, let's hear it.
The creators, fans of Final Fantasy VIII, I appreciate that.
We're just fans of Final Fantasy in general. We paid homage to Squall, Garnet, and Alexander, you know.
Yeah, all kinds of things. So I like that, doing the rough divide.
His doesn't change the weather, though.
No, but his is also bigger, but, you know, it's fine.
Maybe bigger, I don't know. It's not rough divide, is it?
No, I said it.
Blasting zone,
yeah,
isn't it?
blasting zone is right. I said rough divide. I'm like, no, that's the beginning limit break.
Anyway.
But there's also an Eva reference.
If it's not, I'm impressed. Like, I don't know how you justify the clapping scene as not, like, homage to Evangelion.
Yeah, because they come in and they're like, oh, wow, great. And then they start clapping and everyone's there and they're all clapping. And then there's more people coming in and they all start clapping. It's just like, this really feels like that episode 26 really notorious ending. I thought it would be really funny if one of them said congratulations. I feel like that'd be really awesome. But they didn't. They were chanting a little bit of that energy.
Oh, it's 100% basically the same scene.
Yeah, and it seems like it's fitting because it's this dream thing, and those last couple episodes are all kinds of introspective nonsense. So, and it seems like that's what this next episode is going to be. So it fits kind of thematically. I'm
confused on how this works, because once RWBY had the thorn mark on her hand, I was like, okay, something weird's going to happen with that.
Yeah.
And then she's over there being all depressed, and I was like, okay, is this Inception now? I don't understand.
A dream within a dream.
Are you in your own dream? Are you just affected by it? Are you not in a weird dream? I don't understand. And I feel like we're not going to explain it well.
Probably not.
But maybe. I mean, it could be okay. It could work out all right. I don't know that it will. I'm concerned. I don't know that I didn't enjoy the episode. Like, I think the episode's fine. I'm just concerned where we go from here.
You know what I did think about while watching this?
What'd you think about?
I thought if I ever went and watched the main series, which I have not watched any of, I don't know that I could handle the art transition or like the animation. I think it'd drive me nuts.
Okay. I don't know. As I've stated before, it gets worse at some point and then it picks itself back up.
Yeah, but I've seen clips of it at its, like, beginning seasons, and I've always thought, oh, this is not me.
That's fine.
So, this will forever be my RWBY, and I'll be an expert.
Okay, well, I don't think you're going to be an expert on anything anytime soon. Not time travel, not RWBY, none of it.
There's going to be a time travel scene, I'm telling you. It's coming.
It's going to be really funny because of how much you've played this joke up. If there's some weird time mechanic thing to this. But it could be. They're paying homage to 8 a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
We can get Amicia in here. You know, this could be a thing. But now we're just rambling. You don't got anything else you need to throw in here?
I have nothing.
I don't really have anything to say either. I got no other grand points. This episode was there.
It was there.
And leave some concerns, but we'll
cross that bridge.
We'll see next week. So that concludes everything we got to say. Our thoughts, our feelings. I feel like this could definitely be a hot take episode here.
It definitely is.
But we want to hear from you guys. We want to hear your thoughts, your feelings. We want to hear why we are right or wrong. Probably wrong in this case. You explain that to us. You like, you comment, you subscribe, you leave suggestions, you share this with your friends, and really, anybody.
In fact, there's one thing you could do to share this even more. You can go out, find an abandoned house. I would prefer this to be an orphanage, so it's a little bit more creepy. It's got that weird history to it. Do that for me. And then find yourself a cool sword that shoots off glyphs. That's pretty important. I don't know where you're going to find that. Maybe a magic shop or something. Go find that. And then you start kidnapping people with the glyph power. Transport them to the abandoned orphanage house. They're stuck in there. It's dark. And all of a sudden, something starts playing. And you know what that is.
Our angelic voices.
That's exactly right. And that's all you need to do. Easy peasy.
That's not hard. Weiss's glyph powers are hereditary, if you're wondering. The sword does not shoot them either. But, I just figured I'd correct you since you're an expert and you needed a little bit of help there.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
I'm giving this a 6 out of 10.
I'm going to give this a middling 5 out of 10. Have at us.